facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Happy Sober Friday. Trudging Friday. Friday trudging. I'll never get it down. We'll get something. Now the temperature in here was fine. Then I'll get started and we'll just open the window here. I'll go ahead and grab a fan while we're waiting on people to show up. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. We had our first football game last night. It's too bad the Chargers won, but that's all right. That's all right. It's a preseason game. They don't count. All right, preseason doesn't count. I don't really have a reading today. I just thought this was would be a good topic. All right. Don't know what I'm doing here. I have too much stuff in front of me. Too many things going on. If you haven't heard, maybe you saw, maybe I already said it already, but I'm going to be a regular on Take 12 now. It should be pretty cool. I like those guys. They're fun dudes. Then we get to stuff and yeah. We talk about serious stuff, but it's pretty lighthearted. AA etiquette. This ought to be fun. I'm not going to get too overwhelming on this one. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. And I've been to a lot of meetings. Thousands. I've been to thousands and thousands of meetings. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. In fact, the first time I got sober, in my first 90 days, I did 360 meetings. Now, keep in mind that I was in a halfway house for homeless alcoholics. And we had 3 meetings a day there. So we'd go to a meeting in the morning. It was like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that. Then we had a noon meeting, and then we had a 5 p.m. meeting. And then and then at night we would leave, go somewhere else, usually to St. Luke's or St. Anthony's or whatever. And then we'd hold another meeting. So you're not at work. What did you ditch today? Is it ditching Friday? Is it senior ditch day? Nah, it's sales office. Make your sales. You get Friday off. Yeah. I was never that nice. I was never that nice of a sales manager. Home early, but we met quota, so that's nice. Good. Maybe we'll raise the quota. Yeah. Anyway, if there's some etiquette that you kind of want to bring up now, maybe this isn't etiquette as much as it is preference, but there are some things. Let's talk about crosstalk first. What is crosstalk? Well, in a lot of meetings you hear it say crosstalk is defined as interrupting someone else while they're speaking. That would definitely be crosstalk. Okay. See, while other people are speaking, my job is to shut the fuck up and listen. STFU and listen. All right. See, I ask God for direction, and God speaks through his children. At least that's the way it works for me. And often I don't get to choose. I don't get to choose which one is which, where it's going to come from either. I don't get that. That's not, it's not for Tion to decide. So it may come from somebody that I may not like, and I've got to have an open mind, right? So, I know when I'm speaking, I would prefer that people are listening, right? But you'll see people like this in meetings, sitting there playing video games. Not, they have the sound on so their wife knows that they're going to an AA meeting, but they're not participating or listening or anything. Those are the good ones. Usually with people that keep their cameras off the whole time, I usually find that suspect. But hey, who am I? Can't really go to an in-person meeting, put a paper bag on your head, can you? Right? What else is crosstalk? The chat. There can be crosstalk in chat. While people are talking, if you are writing about something else in chat, or you are replying to what they are saying in chat, I don't know about your chat, but my chat pops up right on the screen as soon as somebody posts it. Okay, this is also intrusive. That would be considered crosstalk. You're talking over them. Oh, but I'm typing. Well, while you were typing, you weren't listening, because you can't listen and type and use that thought process. It's 11:11, by the way, and listen at the same time. This is etiquette. It's just a basic respect for the other people at the meeting. Basic respect. Directly talking against what somebody else has said. It's another form of crosstalk. I almost just did it, and then I'm like, oh, Dion, that's not very good etiquette. Where somebody was going to a concert today, and somebody brought up, yeah, Sober AF should be there. They're pretty, and I'm like, and I had so many things to say on that. The way I see it, a man my age hanging out at EDM concerts in a sober kind of lifestyle, yeah, it doesn't sit right in my gut. It doesn't sit. I think you can follow the path too. They're just doing it for money, first of all. The other reason they're doing it is for clout. They're not helping anybody. He just wants to flirt with the girls. Look at me. Look at yeah. It's actually kind of gross. Anyway, so see, in that case, and I ended up saying nothing because somebody else was speaking in the meeting and I needed to listen to them, right? So that is crosstalk. Now, let's say somebody says something. Is this crosstalk? I was just in a meeting. People were asking for treatment centers. So I spent a little bit of time, let them know about the treatment centers I knew about. Is that crosstalk? No, that is encouragement. If you're going to agree with what somebody says, or maybe somebody said something that made you think of something, that's more encouragement. That's not necessarily crosstalk. Okay. What's another thing? Quit saying, sorry, I don't mean to crosstalk, but don't qualify what you're going to say first. This is just for life. People have always approached me and they'll start out this way. This is going to make you mad, but don't start it out that way. Don't determine other people's feelings. It's not your job to do that. If I want to be angry, I will be angry about it. But telling me that I'm going to be angry pisses me off, because I don't like people telling me what I need to be. So yes, by prefacing it, you've already pissed me off. To be honest, that's another one I hear. To be honest, well then, I see a lot of ads. People ask me this question all the time. No, they don't. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Just yeah. I get this. No, what they want to do is it's a sales technique. Anyway, what is some other AA etiquette? What are some other AA cadet? Why do we go to meetings? To share our experience, strength, and hope. Let's talk about dumping. Let's talk about dumping. You gotta be careful what you say in AA meetings sometimes. Right? It is not a place for you to do your 4-step. It's not a place for you to work out your resentments and things going on. We go there. What is it for? Well, if there's a newcomer in the room, it's about them. That's the number one thing. Now I understand we want to talk about what's going on in our lives, but the group isn't there for you to dump. Do you know how many sob stories I hear a day? I've got my own sob story, man. We've all been through things, right? Now, and here again, this is individualized. Sometimes people say stuff that it does not belong in meetings. And I'm not going to get into particulars. Okay. We're there to share our experience, strength, and help the newcomer. We are an attraction, not promotion kind of place, right? We just talked about this yesterday. Attraction, not promotion. Right. And here's one, and this is a definitely preference. There's one meeting I attended for a little bit, and they end with the responsibility statement, which I think is crap, because the responsibility statement was made for the professionals, and that group is not doing anything to help out the professional community right now. So I don't understand why they're using it. I prefer to end with a prayer, the Lord's Prayer. We start meetings with the Serenity Prayer, and we end with the Lord's Prayer. Why is it important that we do that? Consistency amongst different meetings. That's why. Now, can a group decide to do that and make a vote and change it? Absolutely, they can. It is definitely within the traditions. But at the end of the meeting, I'd like to give thanks to God, not a statement. That's a statement. It doesn't. To me, it is. Right. There are certain things we don't talk about in meetings. Politics is one of them. I don't ever, that's not something I hear very often. Every now and again, somebody will let it slip out, but they seem to be like, oh, we're not supposed to talk about that. I'm sorry. And then they move on. So politics really I don't think is an issue. Right. Now, sometimes we might be in a meeting and we feel so comfortable that we start to go out of our way. But you got to be careful what you share in those meetings. You really do. There's things that are appropriate for different things. They're called arenas. What are some of the basic etiquettes for AA meetings? Let's see what AI has to say. Give me a little bit more, because I pretty much covered it without being a dick. It's still What is some of the basic etiquette for AA meetings? Avoid. Yeah, there we go. All right. Side. When like if I'm in an in-person meeting, right, and these two people over here, you know what? STFU, shut the fuck up. If you want to talk, go out there. Go out there. So during the meetings, silence. Members are expected to listen attentively and refrain from interrupting or talking while another person is sharing. And I see it all the time. Okay. You'll get some people where if you interrupt it, if I'm in the middle of talking and you interrupt me in a meeting, there might be a chance that I react to that. I'll probably react to it. I might say something. If they forgot to accidentally turn off their microphone, then I'm probably gonna let it slide. Well, but when somebody intentionally goes out of their way, I've been talking before, people are like, that's wrong. then I have every right to say something about that. Okay. Now, if somebody's doing it incessantly, what should we do? We should probably pull them aside. Okay. Last Friday, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I was in the 3 p.m. and this gentleman who I've seen in other rooms, okay, won't even put his name. He puts not sure. That's not blowing his anonymity because he's not sure what his name is. But he was being very inappropriate with the girls. Very inappropriate. Okay. And the host ended up removing them. I did not remove them. I figured if the girls are uncomfortable with it, they will take care of it. It's, if I need to. Well, then they popped into the 5 o'clock grassroots meeting. I'm sorry, but you're already, no, he did not get to hang out. Is that good etiquette? Probably not the best. I would have to say that was probably not the best etiquette. Okay. But the guy's already made it very clear he doesn't like me. So he's not going to listen to me. He's not going to listen to me. I've already talked to him about that crap. All right. So I statements when sharing, use personal experiences, avoid speaking for others or using second or third person. You'll figure that out. Crosstalk, because I don't quite agree with that. This is a we program. It is a we program, not an I program. But I understand. When you stick with I, then you're talking with your experience. That's another thing. Don't tell other people's stories. And if you do, keep their damn name out of it. Keep their name out of it. Okay? You cannot go around blowing other people's anonymity. If you are telling their story. Well, yeah, I just kind of did it, but I used not sure. I didn't use their name. Limit sites, cell phone use, time limits. All right. These are all ones that we kind of know. Time limits. When I tend to go over a little bit too. Some meetings are like, that's it, and they'll cut you off. So be careful of your time, be wary of your time, and try and end before that timer goes off. I myself could probably listen to that advice a little bit better. Here's some general tip. Arrive on time. I don't understand why people are late to Zoom meetings. Internet's everywhere. I understand sometimes it's circumstance. At the 5 o'clock meeting, maybe you get off at 5 o'clock, walking out. But when people are consistent, oh, I'm sorry, and well, then get there earlier. Try being on time. Yeah. Did you know there's a meeting before the meeting? There's about a 10-minute meeting. I tend to open the room 10 minutes before. I was doing it 15, but nobody was really showing up, so I took back 5 minutes of my life. Then there's the meeting, and then there's the after meeting. There's the parking lot meeting. Yeah, there's 3 meetings at an AA meeting. AA meetings are not an hour long. They're about an hour and a half. Yeah. Most of the camaraderie, most of the fellowship happens in the parking lot meeting. That's where a lot of it happens. Yeah. Right. Respect the meeting format. Right. So that meeting that ended with something I didn't like, I have chaired and I followed the format. There were several things in it that were incorrect, but I had to follow the format. What is that? It's just respect. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Right? All right. Consider a sponsor. Don't be afraid to pass. It is perfectly acceptable to decline sharing if you're not comfortable speaking. Absolutely. If you just want to raise your hand, say, you get called on, I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic. I'm going to pass. Thank you everybody for being here. We call that claiming our seat. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nah. So avoid crosstalk, respect anonymity, limit side conversations, Pay attention to meeting types. Guidelines for sharing as AA meeting. Avoid double dipping. All right. So the way we work it in grassroots, and it's kind of an unsaid thing. Excuse me. It's kind of an unsaid thing in grassroots that we're going to let everybody have a chance to talk before double dipping. But if nobody's raising their hand and you want to throw something in, and it depends on the chairperson too and what their preference is. Really, it comes down to whoever's chairing the meeting. Arrive early, stay late. Be honest. Get a phone list. What are some meeting etiquettes? Come prepared. Dress professional. Oh, that's not for AA meetings. That's for a work meeting. I'm like, dress appropriately. Yeah. Just like and there's you got to be willing to change things. Our format is set up to make anybody that's coming in to feel welcome. And there's a part in it, and I wrote this, okay? But people have been bringing it up, and they were right. It said what we say is, where is it? Although you're not required to turn on your camera, we encourage being accountable and ask when you share to turn on your camera. We know it can be tough, but we want you to know that you are welcome here no matter how you look. All right. Now, to me, there's not much wrong with that, but I'm not everybody. And people have pointed out that kind of makes you feel like you're ugly, or you know what I mean? I'm like, well, do we need to change it? Yeah. And then the conversation was, we're just going to take out that last line. Nothing else needs to be said. There we go. See, we can work through these things because the whole point of an AA meeting is to attract the newcomer. With that in mind, you can have a good group. All right, let's go ahead and do daily reflection. We still got time. August 1st, living it, loving it, don't you know? That's not a song. I'm making shit up. I make shit up all the time. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. You have to live it. Okay, wait. It's not using I statements. We have to live it. Yeah. I say a lot of great things. Sure, I do. But it's my actions. It's my actions. See, I can come on here and talk about the things that I've been through because instead of running my darn mouth and then doing nothing about what I said I was going to do, now I go do before I talk. Now I go do something first. I get it going. I get this happening. I get that happening first. Right. But the spiritual life, we live it. And what is it? Well, it's the spiritual principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. There's a principle to every single step. Those are the principles that I live by. And they're interchangeable too. Now I have a new set of morals that I can live by. One that has helped me become a working member of society again. I am a member of society again. My full rights have been brought back. Yeah. I haven't had a warrant out for my arrest in 9 years. That's kind of nice, man. It's kind of nice to go around and, well, I hope that police officer doesn't come talk to me. My saying is this: I only despise the police when I'm doing something wrong. Other than that, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Right. When new in the program, I couldn't comprehend living the spiritual aspect of the program. But now that I am sober, I can't comprehend living without it. Yeah. That it is a change. Right. And the change, I don't want to say dramatic, but it's big. Yeah. I couldn't I couldn't comprehend not living without a higher power now. Before, I couldn't think of anything but alcohol. But that's because of the way my brain works. All those black and white situations, right? But now I don't even, I mean, banish the thought that I won't go to God with what's going on. In fact, I need to ask his guidance right now on some other stuff that I'm doing. Right. So spirituality was what I had been seeking. God, as I understand him, has given me answers to the whys and kept me drinking for 20 years. By living a spiritual life, by asking God for help, I have learned to love, care, and feel compassion for all my fellow men, and to feel joy in the world where before I only felt fear. Man, we can understand that one, can't we? I lived by fear alone. Fear was my biggest motivator when I was drinking. I don't know what. I made a lot of shit up. You know. The other thing that's important is that when we do develop a spiritual life, you can't go run around shoving it down people's throats. Mostly your children, your significant others, your partners. You can't shove it down their throat. Right? My wife is non-alcoholic and she has been doing just fine without Dion's way of life. She doesn't think like I do. She solves problems differently than I do. I have to take a couple extra steps. For her, that's just a part of who she is. Right? So for a non-alcoholic, living a spiritual life is just kind of how it goes. But see, now it's not a theory. It is a way of life. It's just another way of life that seems to work real well for alcoholics. Doesn't need to be more than that because everything in that will keep you striving for as long as you live. The challenges in the principles will keep you striving for as long as you live. And I don't care how young you got sober, it will do it because life is life. You are going to be presented with things in life. How you handle them is what matters. It is the only thing that matters in this situation. All right. So, all right. I think this would have been much better as a clip or something like this. It wasn't really a topic. I don't think. Yeah. I think I could have done better at it too. That's okay. You also get what you get here. That's why it's called raw recovery. Because you kind of get what you get. And today I don't feel like doing anything. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo. I don't want to lay in bed, but I don't feel like doing work stuff. So all right. See, I had to put a little singing in. Gotta have a little bit of singing. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love ya. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.